last week sitting here was Anna Kasparian, and you guys had a really
that got around.
Yeah, and her co-host Cenk, he's also on the Young Turks, tweeted, I think Bill Maher is the biggest racist in American media. I'm happy to challenge him to a debate on the issue of his favorite country in the world, his beloved Israel. How do you respond to that? I'm assuming you didn't even see this.
Why doesn't he answer the question that she won't answer?
All right, good news. I'm going to answer that question. He's going to say yes to a debate. Okay, we'll find out when and where. I have a lot to say about what Bill Maher just told you. But first, let's show you everything he said, and then I'll come back and respond to it. So Yaz, what else is there?
All right, well, everybody knows that Bill Maher is a very staunch defender of Israel. He loves to talk about Israel, but he was just interviewed by the Free Press's Maya Sulkin, and she asked him about his viral sit down with Anna. And the question that was referred to in that first video was a moment during their debate where instead of actually grappling with the issue of Gazans who are being slaughtered by the thousands, everyone knows this, instead he wanted to talk about how evil Islam and Muslims are. And specifically, he demanded to know where in the Middle East Anna would want to live, and here's how that went.
If you had to live in the Middle East, so tomorrow, Anna, you got to go live in the Middle East. Where would you live? Where would you live? What city would you live in?
Well,
where do you think you'd be comfortable in that dress? Saudi Arabia, Riyadh? Oh,
none of the above.
And
none of them.
Or Tel Aviv.
None of them. I think given my very harsh and vociferous criticisms of the Israeli government, I probably wouldn't feel so safe living in Tel Aviv right now under this government.
Well,
under this government.
First of all, they have free speech there, so it would not be an issue. But that was a side issue. We're not really talking about. We'll just say just a person, not you with your vociferous talking. Just a regular, a woman of your age.
I'm sure a woman of my age who grew up in the Western world would probably feel the most comfortable in Tel Aviv. I will concede that.
Wow.
Okay, but we're having a discussion about which culture we like, when in reality, I'm having a discussion about the value of human life.
All right, well, after that conversation, during which Maher only wanted to discuss Islam being inferior and also more dangerous than other religions, here's what this is Cenk, what you wrote on X. You said, I think Bill Maher is the biggest racist in American media. His hatred of Muslims would make Mark Levin blush. If anyone said anything about Jewish people or countries that Maher has said about Muslims, they would be banned from US media forever. He's both ignorant and unintelligent. And then you also said, I'm happy to challenge him to a debate on the issue of his favorite country in the world, his beloved Israel, and how he drives anti-Muslim bigotry and hatred in order to protect the genocidal ambitions of Israel. Happy to have Piers Morgan or anyone else host. All right, so asked whether he would be willing to take Cenk up on that offer for the debate, here is what Bill Maher had to say.
Would you challenge, would you
Yes, well, I'd love to hear his answer. Because there is no answer. Anybody who thinks they're a social justice activist, which these people do, and your number one issue isn't gender apartheid in the Muslim world, you're a joke. You're a joke. It's so obvious where the biggest amount of oppression is. You people who hate oppression so much. I feel like it's a credential thing for that generation. It's like they have to be these useful idiots who somehow, again, as the world's big liberals, found their way to this position of marching with the most oppressive people in the world.
All right, well, then he called anyone fighting for Palestinian rights a joke, and he claimed that he was bored by the whole debate.
I'm the racist. First of all, Islam is not a race, morons. It's an idea, it's an ideology. People of all races follow it. It's just more fundamentalist than other religions in this century. That would not have been the case in the 14th century. But we don't live then, we live now. And the fact that you won't call this out, like the fact that these Muslims in America, the way you live here, you couldn't live that way in most of these countries where your ancestors are from, and certainly your wife couldn't. The fact that this isn't your biggest issue as people who hate oppression, you're a joke. So, you know, we want to debate. Sure. I mean, I debated her. I'm bored. As I said at the end of that, I said I'm bored.
All right. Well, first of all, I think Anna was right to redirect his question because the issue is about genocide that is being done by Israel to the Muslim world. And it has nothing really to do about whatever he's trying to make this about, oppression and things like that. And Western women living in Eastern countries for some reason, Muslim or not, why would anyone from the Western world go live in the Eastern world and assume that there's some kind of assimilation there? I don't know. Cenk, I want to get your thoughts on this. What do you think?
Yeah. So I'm super happy to answer his question. First of all, Istanbul. You could go and live in Istanbul and be perfectly fine in any outfit you like. You could live in southern Turkey or any parts of Turkey and wear any outfit you like. In fact, a lot of Israelis go to southern Turkey to vacation. A lot of Russians do, etc. But in Bill Maher's mind, like some Muslim extremists, a small percentage of the religion is everything. Why? Because he wants to smear Muslims. Hey, you ignorant ass. Have you ever been to a Muslim country? Have you ever been to Istanbul? Have you ever been to any of these countries that you talk about? Do you know any Muslim people who aren't paid shills of Israel? And you know, if you did, if you talk to them, what you would find out is that they're normal human beings. The grandmothers love the grandkids. They play soccer, they watch TV, they're just like you, except they're not pro-genocide like you are. So here's another answer to your stupid question. So Berlin might have been an amazing place to live in 1941. Oh my God, the Germans have all the top technology in the world and they have amazing nightclubs. Oh, you're just complaining about this minor Holocaust that they're doing when Berlin is such a lovely city. And have you seen Stuttgart in the spring? What does having nice cities like that, theoretically, have anything to do with whether you're doing a genocide or not? Apparently nothing. But he is trying to distract you in every imaginable way from the real problem. He thinks the number one issue is burqas. No, the number one issue is the slaughter of 70,000 people in Gaza, 20,000 innocent children. If those 20,000 innocent children were Israeli, Bill Maher would go nuts and he would demand that the Palestinians be murdered and murdered. But it doesn't matter, he demands that now. There is no amount of innocent children that Israel can kill before Bill Maher condemns them. So he's busy condemning every Muslim on the planet. Oh, they're all so dark and savage. You should hate all of them, right? Meanwhile, this atheist, when's the last time he criticized Judaism? In his stupid movie, he smears the living crap out of Muslims. Okay, at least if we're being consistent, no problem. He bullies and attacks Christian. Again, if you're an atheist, no problem. Then he gets to Judaism. He's like, the only dumb people in this religion are the ones that are opposed to Israel. He literally did that. Okay, a guy who never criticizes Judaism, never, right? And he turns around, all the Muslims are wearing burqas and etc. No, brother, the number one problem right now is the genocide that your beloved Israel is committing. But you don't want to condemn that because you're biased and you're disgusting. And right now you say, oh, you'd feel safe in Tel Aviv. Are you insane? You'd feel safe, Bill. I wouldn't feel safe at all. Israel has murdered 9 Americans in the last 3 years. The accountability has been zero. One of them was Shireen Abu Akleh, one of the top journalists in the Middle East. An Israeli sniper shot her in the neck, literal assassination, murder of a Muslim American. Our government did nothing, nothing. They bowed down to your beloved Israel. So no, of course I wouldn't go to Tel Aviv. Are you insane? For a Muslim American, there is no country on earth that is more dangerous than Israel. They can literally murder us and our own government won't do anything about it. It is a vicious terrorist state that has killed 70 times the number of people Hamas has. It has killed more civilians indiscriminately. IDF's own numbers, 83% civilian target rate, as opposed to Hamas, terrible at 67%. We condemn Hamas. He's constantly, all of these pro-Israel guys, condemn every Muslim, condemn every Muslim. When you come to Israel, how dare you anti-Semite. I can't believe you criticized beloved Israel. Give him another $100 billion. That's what you want, right, Bill? You want us to take another $100 billion in a 20-year memorandum of understanding and ship it over to your friends in Israel? No, thank you. No, thank you on that robbery. I'm not interested in that robbery. He says he's fine with a debate, except I'm bored of it. I mean, I already called everyone an anti-Semite, and I already said that all Muslims are dark savages we should finance Israel to murder. So I'm so bored of it. Okay, debate anytime, any place, brother. You name it. There's no way you survive a debate with me because you're so ignorant and you're so biased that you can't see straight. When people go 20,000 children, for God's sake, you have no humanity. He's like, a collateral damage, whatever. They're the terrorists, we had to murder them. Human shields and all this bullshit propaganda, okay? But if it comes to Israel, oh, those are real human beings. Their lives count unlike Muslim lives. So no, and this dumb sophistry of, if you're against the genocide, that means you're pro-burqa. I know your mind is tiny, Bill, but let's see if it can encompass this simple thought. I could be someone who's an atheist and who doesn't agree with the burqa, but agrees a lot less with murdering 20,000 kids. But you cannot agree to that. You say, no, the burqa offends my sensibilities so much more. And it doesn't matter what tiny percentage of Muslims wear a burqa, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna blame you, and you don't ever dare criticize Israel, right? Kiss my ass, Bill. And your stupid Israel love that blinds you completely. Anna and him were having a perfectly good conversation. You could have a normal conversation about Gaza, and I've done it countless times. But you can't with people like Bill Maher, because he immediately goes to, oh, the Muslims are terrible. You should condemn all Muslims first. We had to kill them and kill them and kill them. That's what you look like to the rest of us, Bill. You look like a monster. Come on, brother, come on, anytime, any place. And you know you're not gonna do it. There's no chance he's gonna do it. He's a giant coward whose ideas are so stupid, so indefensible that he can't possibly defend them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you asked at the beginning of that if Bill Maher had ever been to a Muslim country, but even before that, I was wondering if he had ever even interacted with Muslims, even here in this country. And I'm not talking about people like me, like I'm Muslim in name only, really, but even practicing Muslims here. It's bizarre to me whenever people rail against Muslims in this country, because really they live relatively peaceful lives here. They don't bother people. Maybe only 3% of the US population is Muslim, but they've become so demonized by people like Bill Maher and the evangelical right. They keep saying to watch out for Sharia law, things like that, but it's all just a fake threat. It's not real. The Muslims are not about to take over this country anytime soon, and most of them live their lives mostly unnoticed by the general population. And of course, the culture is different between the United States and the Middle East, obviously, but you can say that about any other culture. And to Anna's point, she conceded that a Western woman would feel most comfortable in Tel Aviv within the Middle East, but that's because it's practically the United States. It wasn't a win for Bill Maher that Anna conceded that point. And it proves, if anything, that the point that Israel is just an extension of this country here, and it's an extension with better healthcare, better education, maternity leave, et cetera, all of which we here in the United States are paying for, even though our president says that we're an America first country. And then on top of all of that, he keeps glazing over the point, Cenk, that you said several times when you were speaking just now. The point is not about burqas. The point is not about women's rights or anything like that right now, right? That is not the point right now. That is not the point that the American people are worried about. That is for those Muslim countries to deal with if they so choose to. But as far as people just being killed, as far as the genocide actually happening, that is something that we're concerned with, especially a genocide that we are funding with our tax dollars.
Yeah, Israel's already taken 300 billion off of us because of propaganda like Bill Maher's that say they're a special ally. And they resemble us, why? They stole our nuclear secrets, they stole all of our technology, they took $300 billion off of us, they have universal health care, they have free college, they have Iron Dome, we don't have. They're a nuclear armed country, they're one of the top economies in the world. They're a grown-up country that is attacking 7 of its neighbors, has committed a genocide, and now they say, give me a 20-year guarantee of another 80 to 100 billion dollars because America owes us. No, we don't owe you. And Bill, we don't owe your beloved Israel, okay? We don't owe them a goddamn thing. They're not at all the victims. All of your propaganda is geared to paint Israel, oh, tiny little Israel that always attacks their neighbors and always takes their land. Don't look, keeps Palestinians prisoners and captive for 58 brutal years in occupation, in apartheid-like state, a dictatorship in the occupied territories that took the Golan Heights, that took all this land around us, that is now occupying Lebanon, that is now occupying Syria. But Bill says, no, we needed the breathing space for that. We needed to take the Sudetenland for self-defense. Don't look at all the land we've taken. Don't look at the 300 billion we took off the Americans. Don't look at the 100 billion we're gonna take off of them next. Remember, we're the victims. Israel's nowhere near victims. There's no chance Bill Maher will debate me, because if he sees this, he knows he's 100% wrong, and his arguments are not just indefensible, they're obnoxious, and they will only make Americans hate Israel more. So come get some, Bill. I'm pro-America, you take the pro-Israel position, and let's see who wins.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.